Amid increasing tensions in the South China Sea, China and Russia have joined forces to showcase their military prowess in the region. According to a report, the Sino Russian Joint Sea 2024 naval exercises have entered the live fire phase, enhancing their strategic cooperation to address shared threats. Observers interpret the timing of these exercises as Russia signaling its solidarity with China. The naval component of the Joint Sea 2024 drills included joint anti-submarine exercises. The Russian Pacific Fleet reported that both nations successfully located and destroyed an enemy submarine in the South China Sea and conducted live rocket depth charge firing exercises. Additionally, the two navies practiced artillery strikes on simulated targets. From the outset, the exercises were highly realistic and integrated, with Chinese and Russian warships forming a single column formation and enhancing their command coordination through real-time directives during navigation. Coinciding with Joint Sea 2024, a Sino-Russian joint surface fleet returned to the South China Sea via the Ballantang Channel. This area has recently seen heightened activity, with the Chinese Shandong carrier group passing through, followed by the Sino-Russian fleet. The Sino-Russian patrol fleet conducted simulated boarding and inspection exercises in the Philippine Sea. Naval personnel from both countries boarded a mock suspicious vessel, discovered illegal weapons, and detained the crew. Currently, nearly 10 Chinese and Russian warships are operating in the South China Sea. According to joint military statements, the upcoming days will see further exercises, including anchorage defense, joint search and rescue, and air defense and missile interception. The Sino-Russian Joint Fleet remains in the South China Sea, with expectations of a potential large-scale joint exercise. If realized, this would involve substantial naval forces in the Western Pacific, predominantly led by the Chinese Navy. Recently, local armed forces in Taiwan have ignored international regulations and held so-called live fire exercises in an attempt to show off their force through armed provocation. However, they received a stern warning on the international stage. Not only did the Chinese Navy dispatch frigates to ignore the so-called live fire no-go zone, but two Dreadnought-class large anti-submarine ships of the Russian Navy's Pacific Fleet also launched a forceful attack. This joint operation is no accident, but a stern warning from the Chinese and Russian militaries to Taiwan's local armed forces. As the Russian Navy approached the waters east of Taiwan, the Chinese People's Liberation Army's naval and air forces also launched large-scale patrols in the surrounding area, forming a joint force. The China-Russia Joint Sea 2024 naval exercise kicked off on Sunday at a naval port in Zhanjiang, South China's Guangdong province. The drill has caught widespread speculations among Western media. They particularly highlighted the timing of the drill, which came just a few days after the recent NATO summit in Washington, hinting that the drill is specially targeted at NATO. The West's alert of China-Russia naval drill reveals its unease and underestimation of the significance of this mechanism on the two countries as well as on the region. China and Russia held their first joint naval drill in 2012. Kui Heng, a research fellow from the Center for Russian Studies of East China Normal University, told the Global Times that as the scale and influence of the drill keep rising, it demonstrates a high-level strategic mutual trust between China and Russia. Kui's view is echoed by Chinese military expert Zhang Junshe. The Xinhua news agency cited a military source saying that as a key part of the China-Russia joint exercise, the drill includes subjects such as anchorage defense, joint reconnaissance and early warning, joint search and rescue, and joint air defense and missile defense. Zhang told the Global Times that while these exercises need both sides to release sensitive data such as radar and sonar with each other, it demonstrates the strategic mutual trust between China and Russia. Meanwhile, the drill can enhance the joint action capability of Chinese and Russian navies and their ability to cope with maritime security threats. This year's drill takes place in Zhanjiang, which faces the South China Sea. Usually, China-Russia joint naval exercises take place in the coastal areas of the two countries, determined by the nature of the maritime strategies of the two countries. This means that the objective of the drills is to defend maritime threats, not to show an aggressive gesture at the doorstep of other countries. This is in stark contrast to the US-led military exercises. The exercise Rim of the Pacific 2024 is still ongoing, with a key part of the drills being the sinking of 40,000-ton target ship aimed at showing off the capability to destroy a Chinese amphibious assault ship or aircraft carrier, amid current tensions in the Taiwan Straits and the South China Sea. Additionally, in February of this year, US Marines, sailors and Japanese troops practiced the recapturing of an island during their Iron Fist 24 exercise amid concerns about the mainland's military moves around the island of Taiwan. Joint military exercises led by the US typically designate other countries, particularly China and Russia, as hypothetical enemies and are often offensive in nature. As a result, they tend to measure others' corn by their own bushels and use their own perspectives to speculate on China-Russia military exercises. It is clear that the nature of China-Russia naval drills fundamentally differs from that of US-led exercises. The joint exercise of China and Russia does not target any third party, but US-led drills directly view China as an enemy, displaying a hegemonic and zero-sum mentality. While the purpose of the US-led drills is to break power balance in the region and jeopardize regional stability, China-Russia drills are defensive and aimed at maintaining regional peace and stability. China and Russia have felt the maritime threats posed by the US and its allies in the South China Sea since last year when the Philippines stirred up the waters in the South China Sea. The US, Japan and the Philippines have stepped up military coordination to strengthen their maritime containment of China, leading to heightened tensions in the South China Sea and its surrounding areas. Cui believes China and Russia's choice of Zhanjiang, located on the north end of the South China Sea, as the venue for the drills will have a deterrence effect on the US, Japan and the Philippines and give them a warning of the consequences of posing maritime threats. The Sino-Russian Joint Sea 2024 naval exercise is an important display by China and Russia in the current international environment, not only at the military level, but also at the political and strategic level. Through this high-level military cooperation, China and Russia have not only strengthened bilateral relations, but also demonstrated their capabilities and determination to maintain regional peace and stability on a global scale. It is time for the West to abandon its prejudice of China-Russia relations and stop hyping the joint drills.